Hi, my name is Gonzalez Fernández. I'm a 10th grader student of the Cambridge International School, and I'm here today to say what happened in chapters 13 to 16 of the book Pride and Prejudice Part 2. Then I'm gonna predict what's gonna happen in the next chapter, or what I think that is gonna happen. So we start chapter 13 noticing that Elizabeth is in a doubt for believing the letter until she realizes that Darcy's story seems to be right. So you know that Darcy writes a letter for Elizabeth, and in that letter says things about Wickham and things about Bingley. So in the first moment, Elizabeth do not want to believe about that letter, but when she rereads the letter, she realizes that it says things that are true, are truly the real things that happen. Then Elizabeth believed the explanation about Wickham, and Darcy goes back in a parsonage with Fitzwilliam. That's what happened in chapter 13. Now in chapter 14. In Rosings, Lady Deborah tried to convince the Collinses and Elizabeth to stay more time in there. So you know that Lady Deborah was like, no, you have to stay much longer here because it's a benefit for you. And Elizabeth was like, no, I can't, I have to go. Then Elizabeth's respect about Darcy is much bigger because of the letter. So she starts thinking about what she thinks and feels for Darcy, and she noticed that her feelings are much better, not bigger, so better. So, and because of that, and she realizes that she respects more than before about the things that she do not think of Darcy. Then in chapter 15, Elizabeth and Maria goes to the Mr. Gardiner's house in London. So you know that they, Maria and Elizabeth, stay like a few days in that house. Then Elizabeth wants to see Jane, but also she do not want to hurt her with the things that the letter says about Bingley. So you know that the letter says things, especially that Bingley said, and yeah, Elizabeth do not want to make Jane more heartbroken than she was before. You know that Bingley left Jane when they were about to get married. So because of that, Elizabeth think to not say all the things that the letter says about Bingley. Then in chapter 16, Kitty and Lydia were waiting to meet Elizabeth and Jane when they arrived to Hertfordshire. You know about those girls' story about soldiers and things like that. So they wanted to tell Elizabeth those stories. So they were impatient to see Elizabeth and meet her. Then Kitty and Lydia, when the soldiers were gone, they started talking about how Mr. Bennet likes the idea of going to Brington in vacation, but Elizabeth gets worried about that. So because of Elizabeth do not want to go in there because she do not like that idea, and because of that she gets worried. Now, this was my organizer, and okay. So what I think is gonna happen in the next chapter? So I think that first of all, the letter will be all wrong. So Mr. Bingley will be so much imagination for creating things that seem real but aren't real. So Elizabeth is gonna realize that the things that the letter says aren't real, and she will be in a total hate to Mr. Darcy, yes. And because of that, Jane will hate Darcy too, and all the Collinsons, everyone will get away from Darcy and no more with Darcy in that story. So that's my video, that's my homework. Thank you so much, and goodbye.